Konnichiwa, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Khan, and welcome to episode 134 of Good or Garbage, the number one place where you can find out what stuff is being sold in a division on a weekly basis. We are up to 134 weeks in a row. Not a small feat, and not something that most of the people who cover the division can say that they have done. So with all of that being said, this week we have some pretty interesting stuff. We have an amazing, finally 4% damage to elites purple mod being sold this week. We've got some pretty decent attachments that will also work out for some of the builds. Particularly, there's a Deadeye underbarrel that could work out really well for you guys. And this week, in terms of weapons, there wasn't anything really amazing. There were a couple weapons that you may want to look at, but they are in the heads up section. They are of a lower gear score, but that doesn't mean that they're still not worth looking at. So without further ado, good or garbage. All right, now let's move on to the attachments for this week. Hey, this week over at Camp Hudson, we have a small grip for sale. This one with 19% critical hit damage, 2.5% stability, and 4.5% reload speed. This is absolutely perfect if you are running Deadeye, just because with Deadeye you will not need any crit chance and you will not get any benefit from headshot damage. So this is all crit damage, and you'll get a bit of faster reload plus a little bit more stability. This is absolutely great. So if you have a surplus SVD or some kind of SVD and you are making the Deadeye build, this is a great little attachment to have in your underbarrel. If you need this, go on over to Camp Hudson and pick it up. This week over at East 61st Street, we have a 5.52 Halosight for sale. This one coming in with 7% critical hit chance, 5.5% headshot damage, and 4% critical hit damage. Now, while the crit chance can be a bit higher along with the headshot damage, this is still pretty good, especially working well with any of the weapons that don't have critical hit chance baked into them. So namely the LMGs, the ARs, and things of that nature. So if you are looking for a sight that you want to get a little bit more crit chance onto, maybe even throw some headshot damage on it, and then get the rest of your critical hit damage from your build, then this could work out very well for you if you head on over to East 61st Street. But remember, it will cost you DZ credits. This week over at Camp Clinton, there is a CQBSS 8x scope for sale with 13.5% stability, 4% critical hit damage, and 5.5% headshot damage. Now, while this is not the tip top of the scales when it comes to it, this is still pretty good, especially if you're looking for a little bit more stability in your weapon. So if you are looking for this, it will cost you Phoenix credits, but it is over at Camp Clinton. Now let's go take a look at this week's gear mods. This week over at Camp Clinton, we have a prototype performance mod with 7.5% support station range. If you are looking to expand your range for your reclaimer build, or if you're just in charge of the healing and you're not necessarily a reclaimer, this is still pretty good because the box will, have a bigger range, and then it'll be able to heal and you'll be able to move around a little bit more freely. So if you are looking for something like this, it will cost you Phoenix credits, and it is over at Camp Clinton. At Madison Stand this week, we have a performance mod with 4% turret damage. If you're looking for that, go on over to Madison Stand. It only costs you regular credits. Go pick it up. This week over at East 53rd Street, we have an electronics mod being sold with 266 electronics and 1% critical hit chance. Now, this is a pretty good mod just because you have kind of the best of both worlds. You have the 1% critical hit chance. If you stack a bunch of these, you can get even more crit chance for your weapon. If you have some crit damage somewhere baked into your build, then this could work out well. Plus, you also get a nice 266 electronics, which is almost at the max limit. So if you are using some kind of electronics build, then this could work out for you. Let me know in the comment section below, is this something that you would pick up? Do you need this for an electronics build, or would you just like to have a little bit more electronics in a different type of build that's not so electronics centric? Let me know. This week in the base of operations at the special equipment vendor, we have a prototype stamina mod being sold. This one with 263 stam. The major attribute this week is going to be 3% signature ability resource gain. So if you're trying to get your supers up and running, or at least to try and get them back a little bit faster, then these are the mods that you're going to want to use. If you're going to get it, just remember it costs you Phoenix credits and they're in the base of operations. Hallelujah! Brothers and sisters, it ain't even Sunday. The prototype stamina mod is being sold. 4% damage to elites. Yo, I don't care if this isn't technically a god roll due to the stamina, I guess, allotment, but damn, 4% damage to elites. I haven't seen one of these in forever. Now, it is in your best interest to pick up quite a few of these just to have them. If you've never tried them and you do a lot of PvE content, you are going to be amazed, especially with Deadeye being one of the sets for this GE. You kind of can't go wrong with this. Throwing this in Deadeye slot would really make a big difference. Damage to elites 4%. Pick them up, please. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh man, Con, I missed it. Yo, if you miss it, this is your fault. I don't want to hear it. Also, over at Dante's Run, while we over here, there is a stamina mod being sold with 266 stam and 2% exotic damage resilience. The 266 is nice. Exotic damage resilience is kind of eh. But I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with this damage to elites mod. 4%, you are not going to see many of these. Go get them. There's a line. You see all these people running in here? There is a good reason for that. The word is spreading. You heard it from your boy. Go get it. Now it's time to wrap things up in the 284 plus gear score section. At Camp Hudson this week, we have a gear score 284 first wave PF45 sidearm. This one coming in pretty nicely with Fierce. Now Fierce will give you an increased critical hit chance by 5% just by having this weapon. Not necessarily the best, but if you do have a lot of crit damage on your build, like somewhere in your gear, this could still work out for you. And the awesome thing about this weapon is that it actually has some decent slots for modding. So you have a magazine, a small muzzle, and underbarrel, and those are two, 3 pretty good mods that you would want to have so that you can get some extra damage on. If you need this, head on over to Camp Hudson and pick it up. At Camp Clinton this week, a little quick shout out. We have a gear score 284 Military M9 sidearm being sold. This one coming in with Adept. I know Adept has gotten a bit of a bum rap as of lately once they nerfed it. But if you are looking for something like this, or if you want to just roll off Adept and put something else on there, you definitely can go ahead and do that. If you're not looking for it, then I guess you can just go ahead and pass it. But I know some people are looking for some of the higher end gear score sidearms just because they don't want to put too much more Phoenix credits into something like that. All right, guys, that is it for episode 134 of Good or Garbage. I hope you guys found something useful. I know I bought quite a few things myself. I definitely picked up quite a few of the damage to elites mods. Those things are extremely rare, and the fact that the main stat was over 200, I believe those things get up to like over 210 or like 211, 212, somewhere around there, 2 something. But to have it over 200, I think is still pretty good, so that way it's not completely wasted in the stats section, and then you get that damage to elites, which is really going to work out. With the GE this week, also there was that one 19% underbarrel mod that I think would work out really well with Deadeye. If you have made a Deadeye build, then you should definitely go ahead and check that out. If you haven't hit the like button already, please do that. And if you have not subscribed, maybe you're new to the channel, definitely go ahead and check that out. If you have not been to the live streams, definitely come through, say hello, show your face, let me know who you are. It's always good to know who the people who enjoy my content are. Almost the end of the year, man. It's kind of crazy that we're creeping up to 2019, getting closer to 2020, which is just amazing. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has showed love, who has supported the channel, who has either given donations or bought merch or just hit the like button and subscribed. I'll see you guys next time.
Oh.